Hello everyone, this is Manoj. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we'll discuss about how we can use REST API all operations using SQL Server. So let's open the SQL Server Management Studio. I hope you have already installed SQL Server in your machine. So we'll create a table so that we'll use the same table for all our operations like get, post, put, and delete. So here a SQL server. So let me connect with my local host. So this is my local server and I'm using Windows authentication mode. So click on connect. So by default it will open the master database. So we'll use the same master database. Click on new query. So here we need to create a table. So create table TBL sports. So it will use ID and it would be auto incremented. So int identity 1 comma 1, so it will start from 1 and it will increment the value by 1. Let's make it primary key, and another one is like name varchar and description, it would be also the varchar, and another one is, let's say, created on, that would be a date time field, and the last one is active. So we'll use this is active to make a record active or deactivated. So hit F5. So our table has been created. Let's run the select star from command and we'll use. So there are the fields. Nice. So now let's open the Visual Studio. So let's open the Visual Studio 17. Actually, I'm having 17, 19, 22, but here I'm using the 2017 version. So click on new project, click OK. It will create our web API project. So make sure the web API is selected, click on OK. So this is the default page of a web API project. So open the Solution Explorer. Now you can see in the controllers we have two controllers, one is for home, one is for values, and in the app start we have all config files, we have areas, so we have content which includes all the CSS files. All right, so go to values first. If you see, this is the API controller because it is inherited from the API controller class. All right, so let's add a new controller. Right click on the controllers folder, add, and then controller. Click on web API 2 controller empty, click on add. So give it a name sports controller. Click on add. So now go to the models folder, right click, click on add. Let's add a new class and give it a name sports model. Here we need to create some properties. So the first property is the shortcut is prop int id. So we'll create these fields as a property here. So let's make it capital D and then prop string name prop string description prop date time created on, and another one is prop int is active. Save this, go to your sports controller. So here we need to include some namespaces. The first one is using system.data. Another one is using system.data.sql client. So one more namespace. So using system.configuration. Now let's create a SQL object. So SQL connection, object name, new SQL connection, and here configuration manager dot connection string, name of the connection string dot connection string. So that's our SQL connection object. Now go to your web.config inside app. So here let's add connection strings. Inside this, let's add a new name like add name con equal connection string. So first one is the server, and then second one is database. In our case, we are using master database, and as you can see, we are connected through Windows authentication. So we need to give integrated security true and go to Browser Explorer, click on connect, and then so this is our server name. For me, it is desktop, this one. For you, it will display some different name. So copy the name of your server and paste it here. So our connection string is complete. Go back to your sports controller, save it. Now we'll create our CRUD operations. All right. The first one is public string get all, or let's say get. So here http get. So SQL command cmd is equal to new SQL command, select star from the table name. In our case, we are having TBL sports, copy, and the connection name and SQL data adapter. Let's pass name command here, and data table dt is equal to new data table, and da.fill dt, and return JSON convert control dot. So we'll use this namespace as well, dot serialize object, pass dt, and save. So we are done with our get method. Now copy and paste, returns port by id. So here we'll pass a id, let's say int id, where id equal id, and is active equal 1. So this is our get by id method. Now let's use another method for post, http post public string post. So it will use our sports model class. So sports model control dot. So it will include our model's namespace. So object is sports model. And now SQL command, new SQL command, comma connection object. So now we need to write our insert command. So insert into the table name not id, name, description, created on, is active. Values, sports model dot name, copy this one, paste 4 times. So the second one is description. Third one, we don't need to get it from the model. We can simply use date time dot now. So it will give us the current date. And for is active, for every new record, we will pass 1. So 1 means it is an active record. If you want, you can pass these two values from the front end, but the best approach is you only create it from the back end. No need to pass it from the front end. Okay, so let's save this now. Int I equals cmd dot execute non-query, and if I greater than 0, it means our record has been inserted successfully. Response equal string dot empty. So in that case, response is record inserted. In the else part, response error. Save this one, and finally return response. So we are done with our post method. Terminate this with semicolon. Now let's create a edit method by using http put. So public string put, so it will accept a id and the model. So int id, and let's copy this model from here, copy and paste, sorry. So here SQL command equal new SQL command. So update the table. What is the table name? Table sport set. So we will only update name and description. Okay. So set name equals single double plus sports model dot name. So it will update whatever name we will pass from the front end, and description is equal to sports model dot description, where id equal id. So it will search for the id whatever we will pass from the front end, and based on that id it will update name and description. So same way, int I is equal to cmd dot execute non-query, and same way let's copy this message part, paste it over here. If I greater than 0, then let's copy this definition. So record updated, else error. So this is our put, or you can say the modify method. Now public string delete. So let's decorate with http delete decorator. For delete, we only need to pass a ID, so int ID. So let's copy this message over here. And for this particular delete method, we only need to update our this field is active. So by default, whatever record we will insert, that will be is active 1, and whatever ID we will pass in the delete method, so it will search that record in this table and mark is active property as 0. So cmd equal new command, so update tbl sports set is active equal 0, where id equal id comma connection object, and same way int I is equal to cmd dot execute non query. And let's copy this error message declaration, so record deleted else error. So we are done with our all 5 methods. See, for this delete, basically delete means we are going to delete that particular record from the database, but in real world approach, like whatever we are using in our real projects. So we don't delete any particular record from the database, but we only mark that record as inactive. Okay, so this flag 01, it indicates us which record is active or which is not active. All right. So if you see, we have all our methods, so it will return all the records. It will record a particular record, whatever ID will pass from the front end. This one insert a new record in the database, this will update an existing record, and this will delete the record. Next thing is, let's copy this connection string name and put it here. We need to open the connection. Same way, we also need to close the connection, so open, close. Let me make it for all the requests. Close, open, close. Save. Now run the project. You see, record inserted. Now go to SQL Server. So see, we have a record cricket famous in India, date, and is active. All right. Now go back to Postman and change it to get. Remove this body, and if you click on send, so let's remove the breakpoint. Click on continue. So you can see we have a one record. So the get is working. Now let's try to insert some more records. So let's say football, very famous in world, send, record inserted. If we again go to get, so we are getting two records. So let's say if you want to get record with this football game, so you need to pass the ID like 7, click on send. So we are getting only one record with the ID 7, which is football. And if I provide ID 6, click on send. So we are getting record 6 as a cricket. So get this, get by ID, and our post is working. All right. Now, if you change it to put, let's say you need to update. If I go to SQL Server and I run this command again, so let's say you want to change this record like famous in India and world. So how you can do that? So first of all, if you see the method structure, we need to pass, this is the put method ID and sports model. So let's pass ID which is already being there, and cricket sport in India and world. So as of now, if you see, the name is cricket and description is famous in India. Now if I hit this command, so record updated, and if I run this command again, you see cricket sport very famous India and world. So our put is also working. Now let's come to the final method, which is delete. So for delete we only need to pass a ID. Let's say we want to delete this ID, this 6, which is cricket spot. So go to Postman, change your method to delete, and for this we don't need this body, so we only need this URL. So click on send, see record deleted. If you again try to get all methods, so what I did, there is some mistake. Update table stop 0 where ID equal ID. Let's see here. Okay. Oops. Forget we don't need this ID. Remove this one. You see, we are getting both the records 6 and 7. Here we need to make a new statement is and is active one as we are getting for get by ID. So it will only return your all active records. All right. So this is how you can simply create your web API methods and consume in any application like your React, Angular, any other, like if you want to expose your APIs to any mobile app developer, so you can also publish those API into a server and you can expose them. So this is about today's video. I hope you like it. If you did so, hit the like button, share, comment, and if you're looking for any technical help, like you are uh, creating any assignment or you are doing your some office project and you need any kind of technical help, so you can reach out to me. You can connect with me on my Instagram. You can also connect with me on my email. You can find these contact details on my channel description. So I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye bye.